Nooga Radio 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. Good evening to you. Sports Talk with Sam Jordan is on the air. We're glad to have you tune in wherever you may be, whether it's here in the Chattanooga area or throughout the Tennessee Valley or the world. And we're talking sports and a lot of basketball tournaments going on around the area. We'll be talking about that. Also, we'll be talking about UTC Mocs. The ladies team were in action this afternoon over at McKenzie Arena, or as a lot of people know it as the Roundhouse, and taking on Hampton. And the Lady Mocs came away with a 64-52 victory over Hampton. And we'll be talking about that. The men's team's going to be in action on Saturday. And, of course, we've got plenty of bowl games that are going on. And Keon will be talking about that. Don't forget to join Keon Rose coming up at 7 o'clock after CBS World and National News with the World News Roundup coming up. And he will have the clutch with Keon Rose. And he will get you his thoughts and picks for the NFL Finals weekend of games coming up, the regular season, Week 17. Believe it or not, we are at the end of the 2017 season, and then after this weekend is over with, we've got the playoffs, and then eventually by February we'll have the Super Bowl. So a lot of football action still remains, but we've got plenty of football to talk about here this coming weekend as well, and Keon will really touch upon that as well. All right, let's get started. Once again, 423-800-8949 is the phone number to call. 423-800-8949. You can also text me on Facebook here at Nooga Radio. And I see that we have people that are tuning in, watching, and listening on Facebook Live. We're also on YouTube as well, and besides on NoogaRadio.com. So the Raider Arena, the home of the Cleveland Holiday Tournament going on right now. Blue Raiders getting a strong finish, avoided a Sequoia upset bid. Walker Valley Mustangs just shellacked, pummeled, annihilated by 30 points over the Hickson squad, and winning 70-40 in one of the boys' games that took place last night. The Blue Raiders improved to 8-2. Cleveland getting that 30-point win over Sequoia, but also Walker Valley getting a 30-point victory over Hickson, as we said. The game that I'm referring to as far as with Cleveland and Sequoia, was from earlier in the season. Now they've got the game that happened last night. Cleveland knocked off Sequoia 75-58. Meanwhile, Jones Fighting Tigers out of Orlando, Florida, defeated Siegel 55-45, and defending champion Clarksville Northeast rolled past Union County by a score of 69-51. Girls action that went on last night. Signal Mountain defeated Union County 53-49. Walker Valley whipping Watertown 63-25. CAK opened the day's 8-game card with a 58-53 overtime victory over Hampton, and Cleveland racing past Sequoia 63-21. So a lot of good basketball action going on up in Cleveland. If you're in that neighborhood, want to check out some good round ball action, please stop in there at Cleveland High School. And schedule for today. Now, I don't have any score updates to give you, but the 10 o'clock a.m. game had girls action going on with Hampton versus Watertown. And then the midday game, we have Siegel and Hickson in boys action. 1 o'clock game had Sequoia and Unicall County in girls action, and then 2:30 was Sequoia at Unicall County boys in action. Then the semifinal game, CAK and Walker Valley. Girls game at 5:30. Jones out of Florida taking on Walker Valley boys. And then at 7 o'clock tonight, coming up, Signal Mountain versus Cleveland in girls action. And Clarksville Northeast taking on Cleveland boys in the nightcap around 8:30. So if we get any score updates, we'll be more than glad to pass that along to you when we get an opportunity. There's also girls tournament action going on. Bradley Central, the Barretts, they're number 2 in the state of Tennessee. And they got 21 points from Ryan Howard in their 13th straight win of the season. They're 13-0 on the season. And they are hoping that they can do well in the Andrew Johnson Bank Ladies Classic in Greenville, Tennessee. And they are looking to win their 2nd straight title in that contest. And so they have done very well so far in their quest to do so. They're still undefeated. And Bradley Central took on South Forsyth out of Georgia and really just ran away with a 28-5 lead after the first quarter alone, and they never really looked back. They won 83-26 over South Forsyth. South Forsyth drops to 7-5 on the season, and they've got more action ahead of them in that tournament. So they're playing up at Hal Hennard Gym, and so it will be interesting to see everything that comes about from that. 423-800-8949 is the phone number to call here with Sports Talk with Sam Jordan here on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. We encourage you to call in with your questions or comments relating to sports here on Nooga Radio. So University of Tennessee got a commitment yesterday from a junior college player, an offensive lineman, which is something that they were really looking to add to their squad coming in. Well, they got their 14th member yesterday after Jameer Johnson announced that he will join the Vols next year. He signed his national letter of intent last week, but did not make his announcement until yesterday. He wanted to make sure that he was with family during the holiday season when he made that announcement. And that's always cool to do, doing it with family and close friends. And, it's a big commitment and a big step in life for any student athlete. So I commend Jameer for doing that. 6'5", 290 pound. Johnson is from Philadelphia, started Arizona Western College, where he captured NJCAA, or National Junior College Athletic Association, first team All-America honors this year. He was rated a 4-star recruit and the nation's number 2 junior college offensive tackle prospect. He started his career at Rhode Island, where he redshirted in 2016 before transferring and excelling at Arizona Western this past fall. Johnson's signing gives the Vols and Coach Jeremy Pruitt 3 junior college players as a part of the 2018 class, and he joins Arizona Western teammate Dominic Wood Anderson, the nation's top junior college tight end, and 4-star linebacker prospect Jordan Allen of City College of San Francisco. So Coach Pruitt and the coaching staff really, working the West Coast and trying to find some great talent to bring up to Knoxville to get the Vols back into winning ways like they've been used to in the past. So congratulations to the coaching staff at UT for getting that commitment. Overall, the Vols 14-member early signing class features 8 members from the state of Tennessee, 3 Californians, 1 player from Pennsylvania, 1 player from Florida, and 1 South Carolina native. So they still got time to be able to attract even more players with this new class coming in to Knoxville with the National Signing Day officially in February. and there could be a lot more signings. Right now, Georgia is being shown as the top recruiting class college in the country, with Ohio State not far behind. Actually, Georgia has, I believe, 6 5-star recruits that they have been able to bring aboard with the early signing period. And then with Ohio State, they have got about 3 or 4 5-star commitments that have signed. Alabama, which generally has a great class, has dropped down to number 5 in that. My Penn State Nittany Lions, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, are ranked at 4th with the quality of caliber of athletes that they have coming aboard for that 2018 class. And I'm not positive who on number 3 is, but, it's still good to see that the Southeast here with Georgia and Alabama still having good recruits. Tennessee, they keep working at it. I mean, it's going to be a rebuilding process, but I tell you what, from what we've seen here so far, Coach Jeremy Pruitt and his staff really making an all-out effort to try to be successful quicker or sooner than later. Appreciate the comments coming in on Facebook here. We encourage you, if you want to send us a question via Facebook, or if you want to, type out a question there, we'll be more than glad to answer it. We'll mention it on the air and see, what your thoughts are. You can call in as well at 423-800-8949. That's 423-8949. All right. As we said, basketball action got underway this afternoon at the Roundhouse in downtown Chattanooga, otherwise affectionately known as McKenzie Arena, with the Lady Mocs and Hampton. And just looking over the stat sheet and everything, Ariana Whitaker had a pretty good day today. She scored 10. Ariana Gilbert with 14 points, and Lakeland Bolden being the top scorer with 32 points on the day. Kiana Gilbert with 6, and Shelby Davenport with 2. Bria Dial and Rochelle Lee also getting some playing time in there for the Lady Mocs, but it seemed like Lakeland Bolden got half the points in the game there for Chattanooga. Lakeland was 9 of 17 from the field, 6 of 8 from three-point land. So that actually helped quite a bit. And 8 of 9 at the charity stripe. Ariana Whitaker with 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 from the charity stripe. Ariana Gilbert, 4 of 6 from the two-point land, and 4 of 6 in three-point land. 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. So one of the things that being a former coach in baseball, softball, basketball, wrestling, and also with some track, I always look for the rebounds. Who's banging the board for me? And it looks like that Shelby Davenport, even though she didn't score but only 2 points, banging at boards, especially on defense. She had gotten 2 offensive rebounds, 6 defensive rebounds, for a total of 8. Lakeland Bolden, almost very similar. 1 offensive rebound, 6 defensive rebounds, for a total of 7. Ariane Whitaker got 5 rebounds, 3 on the defense. Bria Dial, 4 defensive rebounds total in her efforts. Ariana Gilbert banging away with 5 defensive boards. So, altogether, 29 defensive rebounds and compiling 37 rebounds overall in that game today. They out-rebounded Hampton 37-25. So that is very well done. And usually if you can get those defensive rebounds and get the quick outlet pass or set up the play down at the other end, you're going to be able to score And that is one of the things that, Chattanooga Lady Mocs were able to accomplish in today's contest. It was pretty well evenly matched up through the first half. Then in the third quarter, Chattanooga started pulling away, and in Hampton, trying to make a valiant effort in the end, but falling short. The third quarter did not help them because Chattanooga outscored them 20-9, but Hampton paid it back to Chattanooga in the fourth quarter, 20-15, but still was not enough as they fell by 12 points. It's kind of hard to do to score 32 points in a quarter, but the Hampton did try to make a valiant effort, and Hampton led for 4 minutes in the contest. UTC led for 34 minutes and 45 seconds and was briefly tied for a minute and 15 seconds during the contest, and that probably was in the first quarter in itself. But congratulations to the Lady Mocs in their victory. And they saw 5 lead changes in that contest, but in the end, Chattanooga Lady Mocs winning 64-52. Now, this Saturday, the men get back into action. They will begin their league play in the Southern Conference Saturday night at 8 o'clock. The Southern Conference opener for both teams of Samford and Chattanooga. Mocs Youthful Brigade marched through the non-conference slate with a 6-7 record, with several opportunities for a better record, at least in, I would say, about 3 or 4 of those games. And it's a team, being Chattanooga, that is, entering the season with just 12 total starts scattered across the roster. The first 13 games provide optimism, and especially when it's considered to be the nation's youngest team on the floor for an NCAA Division I team. Mikhail Foreman, Rodney Chapman, Dat Dixon, James Lewis Jr., McKendy London. Those have been the 5. Foreman and Chapman are the guards, and Dixon, Lewis, and London playing the forward positions. And I would imagine with London being more of a postman than anything, that would be more closer to a center. But 6'10", you're not going to say much if he, turns around and gets a quick jumper, from 18 or 20 feet out, or, getting that quick rebound underneath. But, and McKendy, is doing well. He's averaging 13.3 points per game, and he's banging the boards with 7.8 rebounds per game. So, and evidently his 3-point shooting is not that bad either. I mean, it's 39%, but for a forward and everything, that's pretty good. So, got to give him a lot of credit there for taking that effort and shooting that 3 on occasion. But there's a lot of room for growth, and you could see that today, according to Coach Lamont Paris, stating after the loss to Georgia State a week or so ago, quote, "I'm happy with what we've done and how we played overall. I'm more proud of how we've grown more than anything." And he's happy that the direction that the team is heading. So this is the 95th meeting with Samford in a series that dates back to 1925-26 season. All but 25 of the matchups came prior to the move to D1 in 1977-78 season. Nat Dixon seems like he's the hot one right now. He scored 18 or more in each of the last 3 contests, averaging 18.7 points per game over that span. And likely will be joined by Rodney Chapman, Mikhail Foreman, McKendy London, and James Lewis Jr. in the lineup. That quintet opened 12 of the first 13 appearances. So that's going to go on at the Hannah Center over in Birmingham at 8 o'clock this Saturday night. And it will be on ESPN3 and also locally on Real 96.1 or on GoMox.com. So, if you get that opportunity to catch it, please do so. And cheer on the Mocs in every way that you can. So, Tickets are available for all the home games, single game, mini plans, all the usual places where you buy tickets. Gate 1 ticket office at McKenzie during business hours, or call the McKenzie Arena ticket office during business hours, or go online via gomox.com. All right. We've got more to talk about here on Nooga Radio. We got a lot more sports to go through. And then don't forget, coming up at 7:07 or so, we got the Clutch with Keon Rose coming your way. We're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube. So let us know what you're thinking. Got a question or comment? Call us up, 423-800-8949, or message us on Facebook. We'll be back with more in a moment on Nooga Radio.
The Tennessee Valley's news talk leader, Nooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM. 3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
31-year-old Corey Sanders was blown away on Fairmont Avenue. He was rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and the Violent Crimes Bureau is on the case. In one of the stranger cases of road rage, Eastridge police say that a man hit someone's house with his car, and the angry homeowner came out with a knife and stabbed the driver. Eastridge police say that the victim is going to be okay, and the suspect was extradited to Eastridge from Walker County. Gunshots rang out at College Hill Courts, Chattanooga's hotbed of violence, and 2 men were gunned down. The Violent Crimes Bureau trying to track down the would-be killer. One man shot in the gut, the other shot in the leg, both taken to the hospital, expected to survive. Good news in Walker County, they paid off $7.5 million in loans early, right before the deadline on January the 1st. One more step on the way to paying off $70 million in debt. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News, now.
The Tennessee Valley's news talk leader, Nooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
Sam Jordan, News Talk 92.7 Sports Now. Tennessee added a 14th member to its 2018 early signing class on Wednesday after one of the nation's top junior college recruits, Jameer Johnson, announced he'll join the Vols next year. He signed his letter of intent last week during the early signing period, but waited to announce his decision until he was with family during the holiday season. The Cleveland Holiday Tournament has a lot of games on tap for this Thursday. Hampton will take on Watertown in girls action along with Sequoia and Union County. In boys action, Siegel will take on Hickson, Sequoia at Union County. Scores from yesterday's games include Walker Valley shellacking Hickson 70-40, and it was Cleveland knocking off Sequoia 75-58. The Jones Fighting Tigers out of Orlando, Florida defeated Siegel 55-45, and defending champion Clarksville Northeast rolled past Union County 69-51. Sam Jordan, News Talk 92.7 Sports Now.
The Tennessee Valley's news talk leader, Nooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
Oh, man, rush. I've got to get stuff for the party. Where can I go that's going to give me a wide selection of beer, wines, and spirits? Oh, I got it. I'll go to Harry's Wine and Spirits, Signal Mountain. Maybe East Brainerd Wine and Spirits in East Brainerd. I could go to Riley's Wines and Spirits in Hickson. Wow, look at the huge selection in here. Look at these great prices. Amazing. Oh, yeah. I'm going to find something for my lady, too. I'm going to make this party a success.
Make your party a success when you stop in at Harry's Wine and Spirits in Signal Mountain, East Brainerd Wine and Spirits in East Brainerd, and Riley's Wine and Spirits in Hickson. An automated nuclear missile defense system has suddenly entered into launch mode, and you are the only one who can stop it.
Escape Experience Chattanooga.
Your team has just been infected with a deadly virus. Your only hope? There, in an abandoned farmhouse.
Escape Experience Chattanooga.
Handcuffed in a maximum security prison, you have an hour to flee.
Escape Experience Chattanooga.
These escape scenarios and more at Chattanooga's best escape room game and team building platform. Call now. Slots are limited. Register online at escapeexperience.com/Chattanooga. Escape Experience Chattanooga. If your computer is running slow, if you have viruses, if someone called you asking to get into your computer, just say no. If a screen pops up on your computer saying your data is going to be deleted and you have to call this number, don't call it. You need to call Affordable Computers. You wouldn't invite a stranger to come into your house to look at all your books and records, so why would you invite someone to look at your records on your computer? With one wrong click of the mouse, you could be allowing access into your entire system. At Affordable Computers, we can stop them now. Don't be fooled by scammers and pop-ups that tell you must call this number or your hard drive is going to be deleted. You need to call Affordable Computers. Call Affordable Computers now. Microsoft is never going to call you. Microsoft is never going to ask you to call them. If you see that on your screen, you are being scammed. Stop and call Affordable Computers. 423-499-1975. That's 423-499-1975. In Fort Oglethorpe, call 706-858-5888. That's 706-858-5888. Affordable Computers.
Broadcasting live to over 1 million souls in Chattanooga, the Tennessee Valley, and beyond on frequency modulation 92.7. Sean Hannity, 25,000 watts on digital FM 95.3 HD4. CBS Radio News. NASCAR, Bloomberg Markets, David Tulis, streaming strong at NoogaRadio.com. Live on YouTube and Facebook. Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7. Chattanooga Radio.
Sports Talk with Sam Jordan here on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. And we are glad to be with you. We're also on Facebook Live and on YouTube. And, of course, at NoogaRadio.com. I was just telling Keon out in the office area, a Johnny Manziel story came across where the Canadian Football League has approved former NFL quarterback Johnny Manziel for a 2018 contract. Now, evidently, the CFL rights belong to the Hamilton Tiger Cats for Johnny Manziel. And they worked him out in September, and Thursday's announcement does not necessarily mean that Manziel will play in the CFL in 2018, but the league's decision after months of background work that included an investigation into Manziel's dramatic violence charge gives the Tiger Cats the green light to sign him or trade his rights. Now they've got 10 days to make an offer to Manziel or trade his rights, according to the league. And if neither happens, by January 7th, Manziel would become a CFL free agent. So, all right, so Manziel's got a possibility of maybe playing. I don't think he's ever going to make it back into the NFL per se. I mean, I don't know what other team would want Johnny Manziel other than the Browns, maybe, because they can't get their act together at quarterback. But I think the Browns have already tried and says, no, we're okay. We're good. Deshaun Kaiser, I mean, I really think he's got some possibility. But, you know, the Browns are the Browns. I mean, it's sad. It really is. I think you could probably take the best Chattanooga high school football team and they would play better than the Browns. You know, that's not saying a whole lot about the Browns, but oh well. Well, you know, we mentioned yesterday, and I don't know if Keon touched upon this or not last night, and he may talk about it here tonight for sure, but Pittsburgh Steelers, you know, James Harrison got released, and I guess there's a lot more to the story than what came out of all this. You know, Harrison signed with the Patriots, which is the biggest nemesis that Pittsburgh's got other than Cleveland and Cincinnati. And once in a while, Buffalo might be into the mix and the Ravens. But Harrison evidently infuriated, and I mean, that is putting it lightly, infuriated his former teammates in Pittsburgh because basically Tomlin wasn't playing him to his fullest advantage that he thought should have been. And so Harrison had like a little temper tantrum evidently, and just, hey, he's playing it cool on the sidelines and everything, but, you know, evidently just didn't give a a care anymore. And he had asked for his release and everything, and Pittsburgh finally let him go the other day. So, with getting that unconditional release, Harrison bolts off to New England and Bill Belichick, who I can't stand anyway. I mean, maybe in his younger days as a coach, he was a true coach, but I just think that, there's really no place for a coach like Bill Belichick. That just, I think that he, unscrupulous may not be the right term to use, but I just don't care for his coaching style that he's got. And, has been able to pick up on some players that may be disgruntled with some of his close opponents and stuff. And, he's got Brady. Brady's 40 and, is still showing a lot of promise, but, sometimes they skirt the rules. And I still believe, and I haven't discussed this with Keon, but it's just ironic that two controversial TDs happened in games involving the Patriots. Now, everybody's always picked on the Cowboys for paying off the officials. But if the Patriots haven't paid off the officials to get those two touchdowns turned around where there are no TDs, something's wrong. Something's not smelling right in the fish department. But that's just an opinion. What's your opinion on this? I encourage you to text us on Facebook or call us in 423-800-8949. 423-800-8949 is the phone number to call with your comments. But I am sure that the Patriots and the Steelers are going to be seeing each other a third time here very soon in the playoffs, hopefully for the AFC Championship. Now, I know we're just getting to the end of the regular season of NFL football. A lot of the season has been an abyss for the NFL. Their attendance, and I'll be really surprised to see what the final attendance records are for the teams around the NFL. How much they had last year compared to this year. We only need to go 1 year. Thanks to old Colin Kaepernick with his political stance that he started in San Francisco last year. And this year it just really took off. And it will be interesting to see what those numbers are. Sunday Night Football, just to warn you, is not happening. NFL decided not to have a Sunday Night Football game, so they moved that game to a 4:25 start. And so NBC is out of a game, so they should, not guaranteeing, but they should be able to get a refund from all the money that they're spending on their broadcast rights and all the advertising dollars that play because the NFL pulled that game. The NFL should take care of that, but it will be interesting to see. Or maybe the NFL will say, all right, we'll give you an extra playoff game to make up for that final regular season Sunday night game. Then you're going to have CBS and Fox saying, oh, you can't do that. Yeah, just wait and see whether they do or not. But there is a lot of good games, some that have got a lot of playoff implications lying ahead. But, I knew he couldn't resist. My good friend, the host of The Clutch with Keon Rose, Mr. Keon Rose.
How you doing?
Not bad. Now, what's your take on this with Sunday Night Football?
Okay, so the way that it has been explained to me is that the Sunday night game, they're not playing the Sunday night game because they want to have a lot of these games with playoff implications happening all at the same time. Yeah. So that no one benches a player, no one benches their starters because they're already in all of that stuff. So they tried to pack all of these games in. So you've got the 1 o'clock games, and all of those games affect playoff stuff at the same time. So you have all of this stuff having live implications. If you have a Sunday night game, you might have a Sunday night game that maybe doesn't matter.
Right.
And so they're trying to avoid that. That's how I understand it.
You know what? There's going to be a coach or two from each team, from each game, that's going to be saying, all right, in relation to, give me a good example here. Who's on the bubble?
Who's on the bubble? Titans, Bills, Chargers, Ravens.
Okay. All right. So the Bills are playing probably a 1:00 game. I can tell you real quick whether they are, or at least I thought I could.
Because I know the Ravens are playing at
Buffalo's at 4:25.
4:25.
Right.
Titans are 4:25.
Right.
And they changed it on purpose. I know that the Titans were originally supposed to play at 1.
Yeah.
And they moved them back.
Right. Yeah, Tennessee's the last 4:00 or 4:25 game playing Jacksonville. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting weekend to say the least. And it's like, I know I'll be wanting to see if the Eagles can get beat. That's all I'm looking at.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I mean, they've already clinched. So
they've clinched, but you know what? I want to see my Cowboys just take care of them in front of the Boo Birds in Philadelphia.
That would be wonderful, would it not?
Yes, it would.
just ruin any hope that they have going into the postseason. Just make Nick Foles look awful.
But you know what, Foles? You know, people knock him. I don't get it. I'm not an Eagles fan, but I tell you what, when he played for them every game here a couple of years ago, he was actually pretty decent. I realize that we're talking 2 years later, and he's back with them. But Foles is not a bad quarterback. I think he went to KC or
he went to St. Louis.
St. Louis, okay. And then he got moved around to another team, and then Philadelphia just picked him back up here within the last
as a
month
free
or
agent.
two. Yeah, as a free agent. And that was a smart move. I mean, not knowing, but you want to have a good backup.
Yeah, he's solid.
Right.
The only thing I push back against, because I got into a fight with some Eagles fans on Twitter. The only thing I push back against is the idea that he is as good as Carson Wentz. That I don't agree with at all. Like there are people out there going, no, they'll be fine without Wentz. No, they're not going to be the same. I think Foles is good enough to get you through, but I think you really needed Wentz for a good playoff push. Yeah. I thought
Wentz is a much better quarterback. Even I would say he's a much better quarterback than Jared Goff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think he's as good as Dak Prescott, but you know, I think that he definitely has the upper hand over Goff. Mariota, I would love to have seen a lot better play come from him.
I like Mariota a lot, but I do this based on how I see their offense when they are in hurry up and when they do open it up and let him play. The way that scheme is now, I don't know that we're going to see the best of Marcus Mariota.
No, I don't either. And I don't know whether Tennessee ought to think about maybe trying to draft a quarterback of the future.
No, I think it's too soon. He's in year 3. And I think you got to fix your coaching situation first. I think go ahead and get yourself or get an offensive coordinator, somebody who lets your quarterback throw. And then if he can't play, then he can't play. But I haven't seen anything that indicates that Marcus Mariota can't play.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago where he was just like, wow, where did this come from? And then you see him throw a pick, a little bit later. It's like, oh, all right. But, it depends on how good of a line he's got that's protecting him. And
that line's actually pretty good.
Yeah. So, it's just, it'll be interesting to see. But I agree with you. Malarkey it would be a better coordinator than he would be a head coach. But as long as it ain't Jeff Fisher.
Right. I've had real problems with Jeff Fisher. I spent whole shows blasting Jeff Fisher. I don't.
But the thing is, he goes to St. Louis, and, it's no different. And then the team moves to L.A., same players with a few exceptions of draft picks and some free agents. And all of a sudden you look at the Rams and they're like one of the top teams in the NFC. And it's like,
they had 1 year in LA with Jeff Fisher.
Yeah.
And it was 7-9.
Yeah. So
actually probably worse than 7-9. I think it was like 6 and 10.
Yeah. But still, I mean, that should have been a good indicator there. But Jeff Fisher, enjoy your retirement.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still young enough that he could get back into coaching somewhere, but I just
Jeff Fisher as a defensive coordinator would be fine.
Yeah.
I would not be interested in seeing Jeff Fisher as a head coach anywhere, though.
But Malarkey, I'm not sold on his head coaching abilities.
Me neither. I haven't seen anything that indicates that that's going to work. And I just look at how hamstrung that offense looks. And I do understand, like, there's a certain level of, well, the Titans just don't have weapons in a lot of instances. They've got Corey Davis, who missed half the season. He's a rookie wide receiver. He'll get better, I think, but just him being a rookie. And then you've got Eric Decker as your number 2, and he's all right. He's solid, but again, like, these are the best offensive players you have to offer. And of course, Delaney Walker, who's always there.
I saw last night, I think it was on WRCB Channel 3 with their sportscast there at 11 o'clock, with DeMarco Murray. He stated that even though he got hurt in last week's game, that he will be back. It's like, it's all or nothing for Tennessee, and DeMarco wants to make sure that he is not the distraction that keeps the Titans from making the playoffs.
As long as him being healthy, like if he's healthy enough to play, because if he's 50%, 60%,
it's not good.
You're hurting the team more
right.
than helping it if you're not 100%. In my opinion, in a game like this.
But their backup running back they got for Tennessee,
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Heisman winner. It's like he ought to be getting more and more of the handoffs and everything.
And they tried to get him involved in the game, and I think he did pretty well. But again, I go back to bashing Malarkey on this because everyone knows you want to run the football.
Right.
And at some point, when you're running and there's 7-8 guys in the box and they know you want to run the football, there's no surprise there, unless the guy that you've got in the backfield is Adrian Peterson or the second coming of Jim Brown. Like, you're not doing it. It's just not happening for you.
What do you feel will be the biggest game of this weekend?
The biggest game of this weekend, I do think that Seattle and Atlanta, that's they're both trying to fight to get in.
Right.
And then I like the Titans and Jacksonville, because Jacksonville wants to try and get that first round bye, and Tennessee's just trying to get in.
Right.
And they win and they're in, more or less.
Who do you think will get in with the wild card? Tennessee or Buffalo? Because they're both scratching to get in.
Well, Buffalo needs help. And so I'm more inclined to say Tennessee, just because if Tennessee handles their business, they win this game, they're in.
Right.
They don't need help from anybody. They're in. Buffalo would need Tennessee to lose, and they would need San Diego, some combination of San Diego.
You mean
or
LA
Baltimore,
Chargers?
Or the Chargers. Yeah, boy, that's going to be a tough one for me. But the LA Chargers. They're going to need some combination of the Chargers or the Ravens to lose as well. 2 out of those 3 teams have to lose for Buffalo to get in.
And Baltimore is taking on Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And
I feel
I think that's going to be a Baltimore rout.
Yeah, I feel like Baltimore's going to beat the brakes off of Cincinnati. So I feel,
So Marvin Lewis is going to go out in a losing way
to a division rival. Yeah. It's not going to be fun, but that's just what it is.
You think Marvin Lewis will get another head coaching job?
I think he can. I mean, for him, he's proven that he's a very stable coach and that he understands how to run a team. And there are lots of coaches that don't necessarily know how to run a team. You get promoted from that coordinator level, and being a head coach just gets to be a lot because you're overseeing so many things.
But, I think he's probably going to just go drop back into that coordinator style instead, because he's been on the hot seat for
it feels like a decade of every year. Is Marvin Lewis going to still have a job? And then he's still there.
So I'm just still scratching my head on Herman Edwards becoming a college head football coach after being out
of the game for so long.
I mean,
absolutely nothing is the same from when he was last coaching football. Absolutely nothing.
Maybe unless his agent was saying, all right, ESPN's getting ready to make some more cuts.
Just get out.
You're on the block, so we need to find you another gig here real quick.
Right. Get out while the getting's good.
So Arizona State saved him, I guess. Who else? I mean, Chuck Pagano at Indianapolis has been mentioned on the hot seat.
I mean, he's got to be gone, right?
I think Pagano is a good coach, maybe not a great coach, but I don't think he's gotten the support that he's needed to bring in quality players.
Yeah, and
Indianapolis.
They just now hired a new GM.
Yeah.
Right, because I forget the name of the last GM. Ryan Grigson was the last GM.
Right.
And Ryan Grigson was terrible. I mean, Ryan Grigson was there for 5 years, and Indianapolis still does not have an offensive lineman, a quality wide receiver not named T.Y. Hilton, and anybody playing defense. And I don't know how he managed to so perfectly ruin Andrew Luck, but he did. I mean, he perfectly did it. And so, yeah, you can't blame Pagano entirely for that. That is largely the work of Ryan Grigson, like almost entirely.
Quote of the day I just see here, Mike Mularkey on Titans Future. Quote, winning always makes everything better.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets into the playoffs, you're hard pressed to run Mike Mularkey out of town. But if he doesn't, you have to look at the fact that this is an offense that's completely regressed from last year. Last year, the exotic smash mouth caught everybody off guard. But when you look at it closer, it really is mostly we just run the football and throw the football when we have to. That's really not that special. And once the league caught up to it and once the league adjusted to it, there isn't a whole lot there to really rave about. And you've got a quarterback who played at Oregon, played in the shotgun most of his career, and Mike Mularkey's got a situation where he's just putting him under center.
Yeah,
doesn't fit.
Week 17 finally here upon us. Don't forget, coming up here after CBS World and National News and the World News Roundup, Keon Rose, this guy right here, with the clutch coming up around 10 after. So stick around. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a great one.
The Tennessee Valley's news talk leader, Nooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM. 3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
Gunshots rang out at College Hill Courts, Chattanooga's hotbed of violence, and 2 men were gunned down. The Violent Crimes Bureau trying to track down the would-be killer. One man shot in the gut, the other shot in the leg, both taken to the hospital, expected to survive. 31-year-old Corey Sanders was blown away on Fairmont Avenue. He was rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and the Violent Crimes Bureau is on the case. In one of the stranger cases of road rage, Eastridge police say that a man hit someone's house with his car, and the angry homeowner came out with a knife and stabbed the driver. Eastridge police say that the victim is going to be okay, and the suspect was extradited to Eastridge from Walker County. Good news in Walker County, they paid off $7.5 million in loans early, right before the deadline on January the 1st. One more step on the way to paying off $70 million in debt. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News, now.
Expect fair skies to continue through your nighttime. Cold again overnight, lows upper 20s. For Friday and Saturday, lots of sunshine. Still dry, highs tomorrow near 45. 45 to 47 on Saturday with breezy, much colder weather for Sunday and New Year's Day. Celebrate the new year with Dixieland Fireworks. Locally owned with the largest selection around. A Black Cat dealer with the lowest prices in Dixie. Dixieland Fireworks open daily off I-75 on Ringgold Road, East Ridge. And I'm 1412 Chief Meteorologist Pat Report.
Not making the money you deserve? Bored? Need an exciting change? If you have radio sales experience, contact me about joining our terrific team here at 92.7 Nooga Radio. We are a hot get-up-and-go multimedia platform. Creative people, aggressive ideas. On our team, you'll have a wide-open marketplace of all the best accounts. I'm David. Call me at 401-0211. That's 401-0211. Great commissions, excellent prospects, 401-0211.
The Tennessee Valley's news talk leader, Nooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
Hi, this is Sonia with the Mountain Oaks Weddings, Events, and Tea Room in Ottawa, located in the former James County Courthouse. Go back in style when you're planning